Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have, for the first time in I would say, 8 years, I'm gonna have KFC. And I've never actually had their sandwiches, which I have right here. There's a spicy and a regular. Shirley Ray, go lay down. This is not for you. I'm also drinking I think this is cherry? Yeah, cherry Dr. Pepper. I have honey on hand as well. All right, so I'm gonna try, this is the, I think, original chicken sandwich. It looks like a lighter color than the other one. So I would assume that it's the original. This might be too spicy. Maybe they gave me two of the same ones. It's like Burger King all over again. It's good. The sauce on it is good. The chicken's crispy. It's not Burger King good, but it's good. This is the gravy. Tastes like Thanksgiving because we started ordering their sides for Thanksgiving. Actually, I think we just ordered their mashed potatoes and gravy. Pork got fixed, so she's I've been having to baby her lately. And she has the cone on until the end of the week, so That's good. I'm gonna see if this one has like a different flavor or if it's just the same sandwich. It's the same sandwich. Whatever. I didn't get the spicy, I just got two original. I'm gonna try the mac and cheese. This looks like small town grocery store mac and cheese. Oh, it's dripping. Why is it so drippy? Mushu. My sister's animals. That's pretty good. So today I'm going to be talking about government cheese. Technically, people say it's the conspiracy, but it's not really a conspiracy because it happened. So, you know. So back during the Great Depression, obviously everyone was struggling with jobs, making money, finding money to buy food. Dairy farmers in particular were finding trouble making ends meet. Dairy isn't a necessity, so people stopped buying dairy products. So the farmers, they started going out of business or became worried for their business. And so what the government decided to do, they were like, hey, in order to keep you guys in business, we will give you this much money for this type of dairy, and then you guys can sell it to us, we'll buy it. Keep the milk prices, cheese prices, butter prices the same, right? Because obviously if the government's buying it in place of all the civilians who would have been buying it, then the same amount is still getting bought, the price doesn't go down, therefore dairy farmers still get paid just as much. Good mashed potatoes. So, what the government didn't plan for, however, once they bought the dairy products, people still weren't going to buy the dairy products because they still didn't have money. Still in a depression, right? And dairy goes bad really fast. Like as soon as the milk leaves the cow, it's like ticking time on the clock, right? So the government decides, hey, why don't we start storing it in a sustainable way? Like cheese. That can be, you know, over time it molds and then creates the flavor of the cheese, whatever. Powdered milk, butter, any way that they could possibly make this milk last longer and be able to sell it on the back end and make their money back, they would, right? These are soft. I'm used to Popeye's biscuits. Yeah. I love biscuits and honey. It's like cornbread and honey, which I learned is not a normal thing. I thought everybody put honey on their cornbread and that's how you ate it. Slap some butter on there, slap some honey on there. God, that's the best way to eat cornbread. So good. So now that the government has found a way to make these products last longer, they have to find a way to sell them, right? Even though they're not selling it back to the American people, they're not making back the money that they put into these farmers, they're still continuing to buy up all of the dairy in the United States. So they start giving away what's called government cheese for people who are on the welfare program. So great, we found a way to give back. Oh, that bite was kind of spicy. Huh. Maybe it's just the sauce that's spicy? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the sauce that's spicy. Maybe it just wasn't at the front of the bun. Anyway, now people who are on welfare are getting government cheese. It's not good cheese because the government isn't going to pay to make like brie or Gouda cheese. However, in order to avoid dairy farmers basically cheating the government, was that they had a guy named Bob go around and test all the cheese to make sure that it was USDA quality cheddar cheese. So back to the people on welfare getting it, right? They are finding a way to get rid of all of this leftover cheddar and milk, butter, powdered milk. But they still continue to buy up the same amount of cheese. So even though they're giving away the cheese, they're still bringing in as much cheese as they're giving away. So they're still ending up in a surplus. The government decides, okay, what are our options? They're like, okay, well, we can pay people to promote cheese. We can give it to restaurants. If they put it on their menu and make dishes out of it, they get more money. They get more cheese, right? It works out for everybody. So restaurants are like, cool. We're gonna start making up a bunch of cheese stuff with cheese on it. Start putting cheese on burgers, cheese on noodles, fried cheese, right? Mozzarella sticks. Yeah. So America is thriving on cheese. Not to mention, companies who promote dairy products, milk, butter, cheese, whatever it is, they have to put it in their commercial for however amount of time and they get paid so much money. So, Got Milk campaign is birthed, right? So every time Got Milk airs, they're making money from the government because they're promoting dairy products. So the government starts putting milk cartons into school. For those of you who went to public school, you remember walking through the line, you couldn't leave without grabbing a milk. Whether or not you drank it, you had to take a milk with you, right? So over time, the phrase government cheese was used in a lot of like jokes, SNL skits. It was used in songs by Jay-Z. Who else? Who's that guy that's dating? No. I was gonna say Travis Scott. Well, it's not him. Is it? I don't know. A lot of people start making jokes about it because when you're growing up on welfare, right, you're poor. So the rappers that came from poor families knew what government cheese was about. They used to rap about it as like a, kind of like a nod to growing up in a less wealthy home, right? There was one, I think maybe it was on The View. Moose Show. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg were talking about it. Maybe it wasn't The View. Maybe it was Martha's show. There was just a lot of people in the interview. I don't know. But even they knew about it and they were talking about it. Like it was a big thing. Once you find out about it, you're like, why did the government buy all this milk? And why is there a thing called government cheese? Where did they store all this cheese, you ask? Where did they put all this dairy? They made limestone caves deep in the bowels of Missouri. And that is where they stored the cheese. Because cheese is supposed to age, right? So if it's aging in a temperature controlled area owned by the government, they can keep an eye on their cheese. I brought this topic up to my sister, and she acted like it was just something that was really well known. I had never heard of it, but whatever. And she had brought up the fact that the keto diet is all of a sudden this new fad. Not all of a sudden, but over the past couple of years, right? It's become a new, the new thing to do, right? It's the diet that everybody's talking about. What do you eat on the keto diet? Mostly fats, right? What has a lot of fat? Cheese, butter, heavy cream, gets you thinking, right? Because the Got Milk campaign, getting milk into schools, having parents, children believe that the way that they were going to get big, strong bones was by drinking milk. Well, keto diet does the same thing. I'm not saying anything against the keto diet. I'm just saying, if you're gonna have somebody promote something, what better way to do it than to target a community where, for a lot of people, the results are very noticeable. The diet works. So it's not hard to sell it at that point. And it keeps dairy sales high. One thing that's become super, like sales have just began to soar is yogurt. Like actual yogurt, not like alternative, which has been an issue for the dairy industry, is alternative milks and yogurts, any kind of alternative dairy product. People have really started to turn to those options. One of the reasons is because a lot of people are actually very intolerant to dairy. Lactose intolerant people are like, I think actually everybody that I know has some kind of an issue with dairy, right? It may not be super severe, but the problems are still there. So in a time that people are straying away from dairy products yet again, there's no better option than a diet that focuses mainly on those foods, right? A diet that works. This is just something my sister was discussing with me. I'm not saying that's the reason the keto diet is so popular. I do think it's very likely, though. But it is interesting because if you talk to people from other countries, they know that Americans really like cheese. Like, yeah, they eat cheese in other countries, but they don't coat it in batter and stick it in a deep fryer and call it a day, you know? You know, cheese is very popular in Korea, though, from what I've seen. Maybe it's just the people that I watch on YouTube, but I watch their little cooking videos. They have like those cheese corn dogs. They put cheese on a lot of their spicy food. So I don't know. Maybe their government's buying up cheese too. That is the end of the video. I'm full and my story's over. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos if you liked this one. I also just started a new channel where I cook the food that I eat sometimes. Sometimes I just bake things because I do bake a lot. And it's fall, so you gotta get into all like the fall baking, you know. So far I haven't eaten anything that I've made yet on this channel from that channel. But that was my intention. So it'll probably happen soon. Yeah. Okay, bye.